QSchool is upon us, and we're going to be doing a diary feature for the weekly darts cast over the course of QSchool this year. And we're delighted to say that the participant for stage 1A joins us now. It's Connor Scutt, the first guest ever on the weekly darts cast. Connor, you're in the bubble. How are you?
Hello, I'm all right. The bubble is nice. Lovely hotel.
Yes, bit of
Lovely
an
hotel.
upgrade.
Yeah, no, just a little bit. Just a touch. It
So,
it beat the what do you call it in Wigan? The Britannia in Wigan, the famous Britannia.
yes, lots of good positive reviews on TripAdvisor then. Very good.
Loads and loads. Sorry, I'm
So,
just putting my phone on. Sorry.
that's all right. So what's the day been like then for you? You have your COVID test, of course.
I travelled up today obviously and waited in the car park for half an hour, 45 minutes till it was my slot to have the test. So I got in nice and early. Waited outside in the freezing cold for the test because you're only allowed 5 people at the time. Got in, had the test, and I sat and waited with bated breath for about an hour because I haven't been anywhere to get the virus or anything like that. So I was quietly confident I was going to test negative, but you never know. But you never know what's going to happen. So obviously I was waiting for the call to let me know if I've got it or not. And I thought I finally got the phone call an hour later to say, yeah, you're negative, it's fine, you can come book in for hotel. Thank God for that.
That's the first win, isn't it?
That's the first win. That's the first win of the tournament.
Have you heard of any players that have actually tested positive and turned away? We haven't seen many on social media, so we presume that from what we hear that everyone's okay.
I know of one, but
Yeah.
I don't know him well enough to name him. I'm not sure what the regulations and stuff are on naming people, whether that's accessible to everyone outside the bubble or outside the PDC. I don't know if that's accessible to people, so I don't want to go around mentioning things if that's not allowed. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a very tough situation that we are in society, isn't it? So absolutely.
Yeah, not that I'm not like a massive stickler for the rules or anything like that. I just don't want to get anyone into any trouble or put anything in disrepute or anything like that. Like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
one of those
No.
people.
No worries at all. No worries at all. So you're there now. So have you got a travel board and you're all set up in that regard, or?
I do indeed. Would we like to see it?
Oh, go on then.
Come on then. I'll
I'll
take you on
just
a magical mystery tour.
for those that are listening on the podcast, Connor is now picking up his camera and showing the unicorn travel board, and he's very nicely.
But
He's also strategically placed.
it's only a ton. It's only a ton.
Oh, okay. So I thought you'd
There's no
strategically placed
staging here.
three. Yeah. Okay.
And the floor in front of the door is tiled, so we've got a couple of little handtails in the floor, so I don't break a point if the dart falls out.
Yeah.
See?
That's yes. You don't want a bill at the end of your trip, do you?
I wasn't even worried about that. I was more worried about a dart falling out the board and a point snapping or something like that. That's what I was mainly worried about.
Yeah, that can happen, can't it? God, yeah. The perils of traveling and playing darts. This is your fourth Q school. Now, it
Is it
went
my
very
fault?
well. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2017,
Yeah.
2018, of course, when you were with Unicorn.
Wow.
And then 2020, and it was a tough first few days, but then on the last day, you had that fantastic run to the last 16, if you remember. Do you remember much about that day? You only lost out to Scott Waits in the
I
end, but you were
I'm,
flying
I'm,
for most of that.
I remember a majority of that day. I remember my I can't remember my first round game. I remember my second round against Daniel Lorby. The first round game I think I only had a 74, so I still didn't play well, but I played well enough. And I sort of I went outside and had a bit of a word for myself, and then I come back in, and my sponsor Brian, he gave me a lot of advice and a lot of encouragement on what to do. We come up with a little pre-match routine. I started waiting for people to pass me before I approached the hockey and stuff like that. There's just little things that help me concentrate and things like that. And I got a little bit more. I wouldn't say I tried harder. I'd say I got a little bit more aggressive. I threw the dart a lot harder. I wanted it more. that makes sense. Like first, I was just trying to get through almost on a form of natural ability for the first 3 days. I wasn't like, I was just trying to relax, like smooth my throw out, just try and do it nice and easy. But on that last day, I was almost making the darts go where I wanted them to, sort of thing. Obviously, it didn't bode me too well against Scott Waits. I didn't play badly. I missed an awful lot of darts at double at crucial points in the game. I think I lost 5-2, I think it was. 5-2, 5-3. Maybe less than that.
I will just refer to the statistical database.
I remember missing a 1-5-2 at one point. So I think it was something nil up.
5-3, yeah.
5-3, yeah. I think I missed a dart double to go 2-0 up. If you have a look at some of the legs, if you can get hold of them, I think I did miss a few doubles in there to win legs that I probably should have won. But he was clinical in his finishing. He had a much higher average than I did as well. I think he was touching on 100 average, I think. But I was still there or thereabouts.
Yeah, so, and of course he went on to win a card that day. So, you know, I guess having that experience, because obviously he had, you know, tough results wise up until that point, but having that experience does prove that you can mix it on your day.
It proved to me after beating the likes of Daniel Lorby, who was on the verge of getting his cards that year. And I think if I hadn't have beaten him, he probably would have got it on points. I think he had to beat me and maybe win one more game after that to get his card, I think. And then I played Colin Osborne, who's an old school player, absolute gentleman as well, by the way. Really, really nice fella, Colin. I played him. I had a really good game. I think I had a 90 odd. And then I played current scorecard holder, Willie Borland, another really nice person, really, really lovely fella. And I think I played someone called Richard Hosey as well. I think that was after the Osborne game. I don't remember an awful lot about it, to be honest. But I think I went 3-0 down in that match, maybe 4-0 down, and fought it back. I think he missed one dart at double, and after that, I don't think he got many more shots.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Go on.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Richard Hosey had, because of course you know Dale Pilgrim from Surrey, of course. He was very close to winning a card. Richard Hosey ended Dale's hopes earlier on that day. So basically,
we were in the same side of the draw, weren't we?
That's correct. Yes. So Richard Hosey, who we didn't really know much about, game of his life or game of certainly QSchool, beat Darryl. Then you went on to play him in the board final, and he went 3-0 and 4-2 up, and then you brought it back and you won that.
If I remember correctly, he missed 36 to go and win 5-3, and I think I took out 90 or something similar, and that was on a 36 as well. Something along those lines. It was something half decent. But he missed a double 18 and I hit a double 18, I think.
And I think he was sat on 32 in the final leg as well.
Yeah. I can't remember what I took out. Was it a 10+ I took out in the final leg?
It was only double 10 on that one. But they all count, Connor. They all count.
That would have looked far too good if it was a 10+ check out at that moment.
Yes. It probably felt like a 10+ check out.
I think it did, yeah. Yeah. I think I remember hitting that double 10 now you mention it. It sounds silly, but only little bits of the game. Like when you're really in like the zone and concentrating stuff, there's little snippets that you remember. Like in matches, like the game I had against Burton at the Players Championship, I took out 98 in the first leg. I remember the treble 20 going in nice and easy. One dart was just underneath, and I could see a little gap on the top left-hand side of the double 19, and I just aimed that little gap and I got it, and that won me the first leg. I think I remember that correctly. Imagine if I didn't.
There is video evidence of that, so we'll have to go back and check it.
Let's see if someone calls me on it or not.
Fantastic. So we come to this year's event then, so you're all settled and you know you're raring to go for tomorrow. So I guess what are your aims this time? I guess it seems like an obvious question to ask, really, but
my aims this time is obviously to get through the first stage, which it sounds wrong saying that I'm quietly confident of doing so, but I'd like to think from what I learned last year in the games that I had and what I played and stuff like that. I like to think I've learned enough to get through like the first stage of this, and I think I can challenge for a card in round 2. Obviously, for the first goal, I'm not looking at getting a card yet. I'm just trying to focus on stage 1 at the minute. If I look too far ahead, I'll just think, right, I've got it in the bag, and I can't do that. You've got to focus on. You can't start making up plans and stuff for stuff that you haven't done yet. So I've just got to focus and make sure that I get through the first stage before I think about another stage. Really,
because stage 1 is almost it's an interesting, different situation that it presents itself, doesn't it? Because I think you're going to get a lot of people running around with notepads on the last day trying to work out whether they've come through or not, and having a degree in maths.
From what I understand, 4 points should get you through. From what I understand, from what I've seen on, I think it's FDI, and he's normally pretty spot on. I think 4 points, 100% of the time guarantees it. 5 points definitely guarantees it. But or win through on the day. That's the easiest way to do it. Just win on the day.
Easy.
Yeah. All you got to do is hit a few trebles and doubles.
Yes, it's an easy game, really.
Yeah, if you hit 6 doubles and they don't, then you win.
Fantastic. So, thank you ever so much for your time again, Connor. So I'm going to end each of these chats with a cliche, because you're going to hear a lot. Everyone that goes to QSchool gets a cliche text, and I've sent you a lot over the years. So, which we're all guilty. We only mean well. So remember, Connor, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Does that help?
Thank you very much. Yeah, helps out. It's better than go for the red bit. Go for the red bit. I hate that one. That's the worst one. Hit the red bit. But there's green bits that are worth a lot as well. Why would I just want to hit a red bit?
Yes. My favourite things that people shout at events are, because there won't be any shouting because it'll be played in a bubble and there's no guests, but put a dent in it. have a look, because you're not looking, but thankfully someone said have a look.
You're right. Thank God, I've been playing this game for years and your eyes shut. Thank goodness you said
that. Yes, and put a dent in it, and big red bit. Yeah, that's the one. Dear me. Love it. Okay, well, thank you ever so much for your time, Connor. And whatever the result, we'll have a chat tomorrow evening and see how it's going.
Cool. Yeah. I'm sure we will have a chat.
Fantastic.
Unless I'm in the corner of the room crying, so I've just lost first round. That's a possibility. Could be inconsolable.
Do you? Well, is that difficult to bounce back from?
Not
if that happens.
Not anymore. It used to be. I used to dwell on it for a long time, but I don't. You got every match you have. There's always some form of positive you can take out of it. It would be very, very unlucky to have a game where you've done nothing but play bad. You'll have a decent leg somewhere in there where you think you come back. Even if you lose a game, you'll have a decent leg somewhere in there. Just focus on what you've done right. Because you can't play really well all the time. It would be a really boring game if everyone played well all the time. It'd be a very boring game. So just got to try and focus on what's ahead, because you're not stopping there. Like, that game isn't going to be it. It's not like you're going out into the World Championships and this is the final year you ever pick up a dart. The last year ever. You're never going to touch a dart after this, and you go up there and you lose those games. It's a completely different scenario. It's not. It's a stepping stone in the right direction. So it's all about how. There's a Rocky quote, isn't there? It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Is that the saying?
I mean, I can't say I've watched Rocky for a while, but it sounds about right to me.
What? I can't remember Rocky. I'm disappointed.
Sounds good. It sounds good. It's a good note to end on. So, Connor, we wish you well, and
Thank you very much.
We'll catch up tomorrow.
Lovely. Catch you later, mate.